Hi guys, it's Eva and welcome to a simple quick review about What I Love About You by Rachel Gibson, and welcome to another romance read. I've read so many romances in February and March, I'm gonna burn myself out. But I do have one or two on my list for April. We'll see what happens. But I just get into them because they're so easy and they're mindless, and a lot of times you don't have to pay attention and it just such easy reads, especially listening on audiobook, and they go by so quickly and you can read them really quickly. Anyways, enough about romance. This is Military Men number 3, and so last time I reviewed Run to You, and this followed one particular twin. I kept saying there's a twin because I had already read the other book, so I knew what happened with the other twin. So there is a twin. The last guy, he was a Marine, and because of dad issues, he became a Marine, and his dad was Navy SEAL. So the other brother followed his daddy's footsteps, and he was a Navy SEAL. So this twin is about Blake Yeager, and then the other one was Bo Yeager. And it tells the story about Natalie Cooper. So Natalie Cooper has a kind of an interesting story. A lot of the girls don't have that interesting a story in Rachel Gibson's books, but that's why I think I rated this one a little bit higher up. I think this was both of them were a 4-star for the Military Men ones I read, for a romance read, which is pretty good. And so Natalie had a more interesting story background. So she married her high school sweetheart, and I believe he was her high school sweetheart. Just kind of a perfect love story scenario, and then years later, they want to have a kid, they can't have a kid. He's in high finances, making a lot of money, they become wealthy, they own this house, and then one day, people show up on her door and they're looking for her husband because her husband has ran and he has done some inside kind of trading or something like that. He's gonna get arrested for finance, basically. He has run away with their money, and he ends up running away with a girl, and at the same time she has just found out she's pregnant. They've gone through all these means of pregnancy. They thought it wasn't in the cards for them, so he left her alone and pregnant and without any money, and he left her with another woman, and he goes up and gets arrested, right? So that's how her story starts off, and then it's years later. She owns this photo studio. Here she is in this scenario, and her husband is about to get out of jail 7 years later. I don't know how long. It's a while later. He's never met his daughter, and a man moves in across the street next door, and he flips homes. She doesn't know really anything about him, and the first time he talks to her daughter first, and is mean and is rude and uses cuss words, and that man is Blake Yeager, and Blake is going through some intense stuff at the time. He, unlike his brother, did not have an easy switch over from the military life. He is still in it. He's I guess a mercenary, because he's hired out by corporations to go and do the same thing he used to do, because he was really, really good at his job. So he goes to horrible places, kills people, gets the person that's kidnapped, whatever business guy got kidnapped or whatever, and gets people out of scenarios, or so he gets paid a lot more money now, and that's what he's doing. But at the same time, he is battling alcoholism, which you see in the first book, that he is battling alcoholism and it's gonna destroy him soon. So he's battling a lot, and he doesn't have scope, and he knows that it's partly his job, his thrilling, dangerous job, that is giving him these very highs and lows, and he's in a very, very bad place, and he likes to face his demons head on, and so he cannot basically be nice to this little girl, because he just doesn't have he can't think outside of himself at that point. And so the story does start out physical. The romance starts out physical, I should say. And then quickly turns, because her life is very serious at the time, and she has this husband getting out of jail, and she has a child. So it quickly turns into being look, I have my life all lined out, and I have this job lined out. So you can't just be around, and you can't be in my kid's life, kind of thing. And that's where the story heads. And there's some little weird things in the book. There are some pregnancy hits in the book that never really play out, so I'm not sure why they were thrown in by the author. And the story does feel a little bit rushed in the romance, but I'm quite used to that in hers. She does quite rush the romance part, or she doesn't overstep it. Like some people just are like go from lust and they just say they're in love, but they never quite connect it. She usually does, but it's quite usually rushed. And this particular scenario was as well. It does kind of like a lot of the men in her stories, he does disappear sometimes and it's frustrating, and that's the nature of his job. But he's also battling a lot himself. It's like that main storyline about him realizing he really, really likes this person, and then him being like, oh, I don't deserve her. I can't actually have her in the real world outside of this physical nature. And so he wants to back off and save her from that. And she doesn't really know about all of his demons, and he doesn't really want her to know. So it's a story about like that kind of same story. I've read it before. I've read it a lot kind of in romances where I don't deserve this person because such and such. So yeah, he has to like reveal himself and reveal the demons and the things he's battling in order for her to accept him in her normal family life. And she has to get through the struggle of her ex-husband getting out of jail and where does he fit into her life. And I really, really liked it. I would recommend it. There were some little critiques, some little flaws, but it got pretty good ratings for a romance book, and I would suggest it. I would suggest her military line. I haven't read the first one, but I would definitely suggest these over some of the other ones I read by her. I think I've read a total of 4 books by her now, but I really did like this one. No, I've read 5. But I will see you guys in the next simple, quick review. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!